Sunday marks 25 years since a man attacked Topeka's Carlson Federal Building with explosives and firearms. It is a day that remains fresh in the minds of those who were there and the families of those whose lives changed forever.
Report of explosion and shots fired.
I can hear it reverberating.
Another explosion on the west side of the building.
Shrapnel was just flying all the way down to the end there.
I don't know how many. Here comes some more people running. You might want to get...
I could see the flames and the smoke billowing up.
25 years later is like yesterday for retired Shawnee County Sheriff's Captain Richard Lee.
Hearing their voices and seeing the fear in their eyes, you can't imagine. You just can't imagine what real, true fear is till you see that in their eyes.
The memories are raw as Lee, his wife Kelly at his side, recently retraced his steps outside the Carlson Federal Building for the first time since August 5th, 1993, the day Jack Gary McKnight arrived for his sentencing on drug and weapons charges with pipe bombs and guns and went on attack.
You could hear the crackling, you could hear the ammunition going off into the car, and then every little bit you'd hear an explosion.
Lee was among the first law enforcement to arrive.
I could hear two gunshots. Boom, boom.
He saw workers huddled on a patio.
First group, we came right here.
He got them to safety, then went back to an underground parking area where he heard more people trying to escape.
We were just inside those doors, and that's where I gave him the little pep talk about, whatever it takes. We're going to get the situation under control right now. The important thing is you're all safe, okay? We'll pray for those that maybe aren't right now, all right? So hang in there.
From there, with explosions continuing and McKnight firing from inside, Lee led groups of citizens, staffers, and federal judges on a dash across the open lot to a parking garage just south. That's Richard in the red shirt and khakis.
How long did this look when you're trying to run with gunfire and shrapnel?
Oh, shoot. You really don't give it any thought about how far, how close. All you know is, okay, that's the beginning, okay? That is my mission, to get them out. This is the end of my mission, is to get them to here safe.
WIBW photojournalist Doug Brown was a block away when the shooting started. He ended up in that garage, capturing Lee's actions as he led some 200 people to safety.
I heard two explosions. The first one was when I was out in the open in the actual parking lot, and you could feel it. I never saw it.
I had one woman, and she was almost 9 months pregnant, and I'm holding her hand, and she stops in the middle of the parking lot. And I just turned around and I looked at her. I said, "Hon, are you afraid?" And she's sobbing and says, "Yes, I'm terribly afraid." And I said, "Well, good, so am I." And when I did that, I felt her hand loosen. And I said, "Okay, hon, come on, let's go." You've all done a good job up to now. Stay calm. We're all going to get out of this just fine.
What they didn't know was that inside, it was too late for court security officer Gene Goldsberry, shot and instantly killed at the guard station when McKnight got off the 4th floor elevator.
This was his U.S. Marshal's pin that he wore on his lapel, and he was wearing it when he was killed.
Brenda Hall is his daughter.
He was very humble, one of the kindest people I've ever known.
Goldsberry had retired from a long career with the Kansas Highway Patrol. Never one to stay idle for long, he went to work for the Marshal's Service.
I mean, that's what he was all about. He was somebody who took care of other people. He would be the one that would pick up, a homeless person or a hitchhiker and pay for a hotel room for him or buy him a meal.
On that day, Brenda and her mom heard about the shooting and went to the hospital, desperate for information. A friend from KHP would find out.
And when he came back in, I could tell by his body language it was not good news. And he said, yes, Gene had been killed.
His logbook tracking his daily movements hits a blank page August 5th. The notebook he carried in his shirt pocket bears a hole from a bullet or shrapnel. It's not clear which. Gene Goldsberry's life of service brought to an end. But Brenda says the blessing is that her father was fighting terminal prostate cancer and had faith a better place lay ahead.
I really definitely felt God's grace in that I had peace about what had happened, although it was very, very hard. Just wanted, people to appreciate my dad for who he was and the sacrifice he made.
Richard Lee was among officers who received the Medal of Valor for their actions during the attack, but he says he's no hero. Instead, he honors Gene Goldsberry and another group.
The heroes in all this are the people that I brought out. I never thought of us as heroes. We did our duty. They overcame great adversity, tremendous fear, and carried the day as far as I'm concerned.
Lee said he didn't do it alone. He credits the entire law enforcement team for their efforts that day, including fellow Medal of Valor recipient Deputy Charlie Bloss. Reporter Steve Fry shares his story on WIBW.com. The attack sparked increased security at government buildings nationwide. Today at the Federal Building, you will find a guard station and controlled access to that parking lot, and only one public entrance to the Carlson Building where you immediately pass through security.